Yeah, hi there. These comments are for Diego. This is Michael, the founder, owner, and the materials writer for my online TOEFL course called the 7-Step System to Pass a TOEFL IBT. And let's take a look at your question. So, it says, how do I take your online courses after paying the $35? Okay, so once you pay the money, I send you a username and a password, which you already have, and I went to the website. I can see that you're already logging in to practice, right? So how do you know when you're online to take the prep courses? How do I get prepared for the TOEFL with these online courses? You know what I mean? Yes, I know what you mean. What you want to do is go through my TOEFL course beginning with Step 1, Lesson 1, Step 1, Lesson 2, Step 1, Lesson 3, and so on. And I would recommend, to help you, I think I gave you suggestions that you can use my course in a 3-month sequence. So what you can do is, for the first month, you can focus on completing all of my vocabulary, pronunciation, and grammar lessons. That's for your first month. So each week, you should probably, in your calendar, put down like Mondays, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, put which days you're going to focus on vocabulary, which days you're going to focus on pronunciation, and which days you're going to focus on grammar. And make sure each week you work in all those 3 areas, and then do this all month long until you finish all the lessons. Right? Now, you don't really know when I'm online, but when you're ready, you can complete your pronunciation pretest, and once you do, then you send me an email. And once you send me an email, then I know to go to my VoxyPop discussion group to listen and to evaluate your pretest that you have submitted. Okay? So let's take a look at the next area. So actually, let me finish what I was saying over there, though. So the first month, you work in those 3 areas. Then for the second month, you can probably work in the reading and the listening parts of my course. And then the final month, you work in the writing and the speaking areas. So remember, you're not having face-to-face interaction with me, but when you're ready, whenever you have completed a pronunciation or a speaking practice test or a writing practice test, you want to email me. That way I can give you some feedback on your progress in those areas. Now, all other lessons, vocabulary, grammar, reading, and listening, all of those areas, all of your practice tests and quizzes will be computer scored, so you don't have to worry about getting involved with me with those things. The only time you need to get direct feedback from me is when you're doing the pronunciation, speaking, or writing practice tests. Okay, let's see what we have with the next part of your question. You say, on the other hand, I was wondering, see, when I started the TOEFL test on the reading section a month or so ago, I read everything, I try to understand, but when it's time for me to answer the questions, I don't know how to analyze very well. So probably you're not using good strategy, because you shouldn't have to be reading everything that you see. Let's keep going. It says, when it's time to answer the questions, I don't know how to analyze very well on the questions like essential information, main idea, paragraph, inferences, and implied detail questions, because the passages are too long and there's very little time to answer the questions, the same as listening. I write the important information and extra notes onto my notes, but when I try to answer the questions, I get either confused or I get stuck on the questions, because the answer choices are pretty tricky. The same is for the reading. Or either I'm not writing good notes, you know what I mean? So I really need your help. I'm taking the exam on October 27th or November 3rd. So to help you in that area, it's just a continual practice that you're going through. Remember, for reading, what you're trying to do right now, Diego, is 4 things. You want to read extensively every day, not from my website. You want to be reading longer books. That's number 1. Read about 45 minutes every day for several months. This is very important. Number 2, keep working on improving your vocabulary. You do that in the first section of my course. Now, number 3 is you really need to improve your reading speed to a minimum of at least 300 words per minute or more. And you get that in the reading section of my course. There's over 70 speed reading tests. They're designed to help you improve your reading speed. That way you have more time to answer the questions during the exam itself. Finally, you need good test-taking strategies, and that's also in my reading section. The first 3 or 4 lessons, I go over all of the different IBT reading question types, and then you can use those strategies and take some reading practice tests. Now, I don't have the long reading practice tests that the TOEFL uses. There's enough websites out there that use them. I didn't want to do that myself, but I would probably recommend that you go to TOEFL.org and buy one of their packages where you can get some reading materials and you can start testing your comprehension. So you're using my website to get the IBT test taking strategies. You use the TOEFL materials from ETS to actually take some of their sample reading practice tests so you can measure your progress. So also, as you improve your listening proficiency, you'll get better at taking notes. And remember that reading lesson number one and the TOEFL listening lesson number 1, both of those lessons focus around note-taking. So you definitely want to make sure you go through those lessons to get those tips. Alrighty, anyway, again, thank you, Diego, for your questions. I hope I've kind of gotten you going in the right direction, and keep up the good work.